All right. So good evening and welcome to this class again. This will be our probability session 4 and till now we have discussed the topics conditional events, right? Multiplication theorem on probability and independent events, right? So from now onwards, this fourth session and the fifth session, the next one, they are going to be very important from the perspective of your either you are giving the school boards or either you are giving the mains, because one question definitely is important from this, or you can say one question is sure short you can get from this session, or you can say from this topic, that is Bayes theorem. Okay, so in this class we will discuss the independent events. Independent events definition I have given you already in the last class also. Then we are going to discuss about the total probability theorem also and the Bayes theorem. This Bayes theorem is a very important, and in continuation with this Bayes theorem, the next session will also be there. Okay, so the next session and this session will be the important. In this, we'll study about the basics and some questions, and then we will go to the deep dive in this topic in the next class. Okay, so let's start with the questions only. The first question. First of all, we are doing some questions from the independent events because that we have already completed. So it is given that let A and B be the independent events such that probability of A is equal to P, probability of B is equal to 2P. Then it is asking the largest value of P for which the probability of, okay, this probability means this P means probability. This P means probability here. Where is it? Just a second. Hmm. This P means probability. Okay. So it is saying that probability of exactly one of A or B, A comma B occurs. If you remember in the last class, last to last class, yes. Aren't you able to see? Hmm. So we were saying that, this is asking, this question is asking actually, कि probability of exactly one of A or B occurs. So in the last class, last to last actually, I discussed that we discussed that if we want to find out probability of exactly two events that are happening at a time, exactly two events, let's say A and B. So what we were saying, the formula for that was probability of A plus probability of B minus 2 times of probability of A intersection B. Now how does it coming? So let's see. Actually it is coming that you know that this intersection portion can be represented by probability of A intersection, means we are just talking about in terms of probability, right? So in terms of probability we just write like this, right? Probability of A union B. But we need exactly two events, right? So if we need exactly two events, then definitely out of this A, first we will remove this common portion. Similarly, out of this B, we will remove this common portion, and then we will add them. That is what exactly two events are occurring at a time. Getting this point? Okay. So when we do that, probability of A is I think given P, and probability of B is given as 2P minus 2 times the probability of A intersection B. It is not given, I guess, exactly. So they are independent. So we will say independent, sorry. So this will become PA into PB, right? So this is 2 into PA is already P, right? And PB is already 2P. So can we say this will become simply nothing but 3P minus 4P square. Okay, and this probability is already given in the question, that is 5 by 9. So from here you are getting a quadratic equation, 4P square minus 3P plus 5 by 9 equal to 0. Okay, this quadratic equation you can solve easily. Multiply this 9, so it will become 36P square minus 27P plus 5 is equal to 0. And when you break this into two parts, you will be getting two factors, that is 3P minus 1 and 12P minus 5. equal to 0. So from here you will get the answer 1 by 3 or 5 by 12. Both are possible. Both answers are possible, but we have to mark one, right? So which should be the correct one? Yes, fourth option is the correct one. I missed that part. Okay, so fourth option is correct. The largest value is fourth one. This one, 5 by 12, right? The fourth is the answer. Next question. Next is saying that let A and B be the two events such that probability of A is 1 by 3, probability of B is 1 by 6, then which of the following is true? So you have to try this, right? One by one. It is given probability of A is equal to 1 by 3. Probability of B is given as 1 by 6. First we have to check one A by B, right? So for A by B, you know that these two events are already given independent events. So we can say probability of A intersection B, we can replace this by probability of A into probability of B, right? So therefore, if we check the first option, that is probability of A slash B, or it is also known as probability of A given B, conditional probability. And the formula we discussed was probability of A intersection B upon probability of B. This denominator event comes in the denominator only. So the numerator will become probability of A into probability of B because they are independent events, and this B and B are gone. So therefore probability of A given B will be written as probability of A, which is already given in the question 1 by 3. So according to this should be the value, but they are giving you 2 by 3. So this is correct. Sorry, this is wrong. This is wrong, right? Then we will find the second one. Okay, let's find the second one. This color is not working. Second one is probability of A slash probability of A. One second, something is missing there. I think it is union. Yeah, so please write this. This is given as probability of A slash probability of A union B. Let's find out the A union B. You know that probability of A union B formula is there. A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. Yeah. So this value if you calculate first, so it will become how much? 1 by 3 plus probability 1 by 6 minus probability of A into probability of, it is an intersection and they are independent, so 1 by 3 into 1 by 6. Now see, here it is 18, but here if you take the LCM, it will become 6. Okay, so let me tell you a small trick also here, so that calculation will also become easy. Just multiply this by 2 and this 2, so this base will become same and this will become directly 3 by 6. Okay, similarly here it is 18. Okay, 1 by 18, multiply this by 3 on the numerator and both denominator, so that base is same. So then again 9 minus 1, this will become 8 by 36. Alright, so 4 2 the 8, 4 9 the 36. This is the answer for this probability of A union B. But we need the probability of A slash A union B. Okay, which will become probability of A, or directly we can use the formula, right? 18 na, of course. So 8 by 18 means 2 4 then 2 9. So 4 by 9 is this one, right? So here it was a mistake. All right, so then it will become 3 by 4. You can calculate, right? So this is also not correct. Then second part is also not correct. Then go for the third one. Third one is the correct, right? You already got it. So probability of A slash B dash, it means probability of A intersection. You know that if B is independent, B dash will also be independent. We discussed it already in the last class, right? So it will be PA into PA intersection B dash upon PB dash. So PB dash we already got, we can get it from the given portion 1 minus 1 by 6, that is 5 by 6, and probability of A is already given 1 by 3, and probability of A intersection B complement. What is this value? Tell me. This one. Probability of E3 and intersection E1, it will become E3 intersection, sorry, multiplication E1. And then after we conclude that from all these, we can say that probability of E1 intersection, probability of E2 intersection, probability of E3 intersection was what? This will become probability of E2 complement E2 into probability of E3 complement. That's what you're saying? That will be cancelled out. So a full complement, right? Hmm. So union portion. Huh. Hmm. This will be zero already, right? So it will become probability of E2 complement minus P3, PE3. Is it? No, no. Or we can write probability of E3 complement minus probability of E2. Both are possible, right? So, so what is the answer? I think fourth option. Only fourth option. Okay, so answer is fourth option. Okay, this is the easiest way. It was the longest method. I had this. Okay, it was a little bit longer. So let's go for this one also, because we already know the concept, right? Pairwise independency. So हाँ. In that I didn't use that. All right, let's go for. Of course. Okay, let's go for the next then. Oh, I think that is a mistake. Fourth is the correct. Okay. So next, what is there? Hmm. Next is total probability theorem, right? This is the important topic. Now, what we say that let's suppose that event A is happening. Okay, that event A is there that can occur with one of the n mutually exclusive events. Mutually exclusive events like B1, B2, B3, B4 up to Bn. Okay, but remember mutually exclusive as well as exhaustive means there's nothing common between them, as well as if you take the union of all of them, they will give you the whole sample space. Okay, remember the 52 cards. If I'm saying that a random card has been drawn, probability that it is a black and red, so 26 cards will come there. 26 cards will come there, even though they are mutually exclusive, there's nothing common between them, but still if you take the union, they will give you the total 52 cards, so that means they are exhaustive. Okay, whenever you are confused in these terms, you can go like this. Then it is given that ki, if probabilities of a slash b1 means probability of a given b1 and probability of a given b2, if you find out, then this can be written as simply the total probability a pa can be written as probability of bi into pa of slash of bi. Bi is nothing but index we are using, right? Like suppose that if n events are there, so I can be varied from 1 to n value. All right. So similarly we can do the proof of this also. What is the proof? uh, yes, someone has asked something. Yeah, okay, one second. Diagram part. Yeah, what is the problem? Tell me. So sections. Okay, see, it is saying that probability of a and b1, so there is some part is, of course, this part and this part and this part and the all part, right? If you take them all, this is giving you the whole event, or we can say this is giving you the whole probability. Means can we say that these two events are exhaustive events? Because total you can say total our uh, the total sample space is what? This square box. Total sample space is this square box. So of course this will be coming, this will be coming, this total part will be coming, and this total part will be coming. Okay, when you take the union of all of them, you will be getting a square box, that is the whole sample space. So this is telling you about the what? Exhaustive events. These are exhaustive events, correct? Okay, suppose that probability of or event a you are writing. Okay, event a you are writing. What is the meaning of this probability of a intersection b1? Means there is some portion common between a and b1 plus probability of a intersection b2. Means there is some portion common between a and b2, but if we are taking the addition or union of them, okay, in this case these are the elements, right? So that's why we are adding. If we are adding them, then they are constituting whole sample space, which is in this case is the event a only. Okay, so if we divide this by total sample space, then it becomes the probability. Okay, and what does it mean? It means that the total probability a will be written as the probability of a intersection b1. Okay, a with b1, a with b2, a with b3, a with b4, so it can happen up to the n numbers. So that's why this probability of a will be written as probability of a intersection bi in the compact form we are writing. Okay, indexed form. Now we just studied the conditional event for the formula from the conditional probability, that is probability of a by bi. If we write in the index form, if we write in the index form, it will become what? Is equal to probability of a intersection bi upon probability of bi. Okay, from there only we are getting this part. So if we are getting this part, then the probability of a whatever the intersection portion where we were writing, all those can be probability of A intersection B1 can be written as probability of B1 into probability of A given B1, right? And it is coming from where? This conditional probability. Alright, so the total probability A will be simply become this formula which I already gave you in the first previous slide. Now just understand a question on this. Okay, then it will be more clear. The question is saying that 2 by 3rd of the students in a class are boys and rest are girls. Okay, it is known that probability of girl getting a first class is 0.28. Probability of girl getting a first class is 0.28, and that of the boy is how much it is? Is it visible to you? One second. 0.25, right? 0.25. Huh. So probability of boys getting the first class is 0.25. Now see, getting the first class in a school is totally different events, totally exclusive we can say. Both are exclusive events. But if we take the whole problem, if we take the total thing, then they will give you the what? The total strength or total strength of the students who have got or who have got the first class in the class. So you can see 2 by 3rd already given as the students that are boys. So let's say that B1 is a event which is saying that student chosen is boy. So either student can be chosen as a boy, so student chosen as a boy, or either that can be chosen as a girl. Right? So can I say that these both are mutually exclusive? Yes or no? And as well as these are exhaustive also. Choosing a boy and choosing a girl both are independent, both are mutually exclusive as well as exhaustive events. So, so let's say one more event we have to define here, that is getting a first class, right? Because choosing a boy and getting a first class are two different things. So A is the event that chosen student got the first class. Chosen student got the first class. This all are coming from the questions only. They already said that there is a boy, there is a girl, and they have got first class. The first class. So can I say that probability of choosing a student who got first class, that is probability of A, can be written as probability of A intersection B1, means probability of A intersection B1 means what? The student chosen is a boy and he got the first class, plus probability of A intersection B2, this time it's a girl and she got the first class. Proportionality means this slash B1, huh. This value will become what? Probability of A in, sorry, probability of B1 into probability of A slash B1. Okay, it is coming from conditional event, right? Similarly, it is PB2 into probability of A slash B2. Now, what is this thing? That B1 A event is happening provided that B1 has already happened. Means student chosen is a boy already done. Now we have to find out the probability that it has been, means he has got the first class. So what is this given in this question? Which way? P of A into P of B1 given A. But there is a see. If B1 given A we are writing, suppose, it means the student has already got the first class. Now we have to find that whether it's a boy or girl. Okay. The other, just a second, I'm writing here. You're saying कि if probability of a slash b1 we were writing, we can write this as a intersection b1 upon b1, or we can also write like this, probability of b1 intersection a upon, but in the denominator it will be b1 only, na? Remember that? Because the, हाँ अच्छा, b1 intersection a, same thing. Okay, but here the important event is what? That's what we were saying now. Why we discuss this theorem then? In the all the theorem, the A intersection in B1 we were writing, right? In this all the theorem, A was the given event, and they both are what, mutually exclusive as well as the exhaustive. So all the things are about the event A. However, if the two events are happening, definitely means what? They are exclusive. They are exclusive event, na? Neither A is not the exclusive event. Getting this part? So if you use that B1 intersection A, then in the denominator BA will come, or we can say here BA will be multiplied. Sorry, probability of A will be multiplied. But probability of A, so already you are finding out. Got the idea? So just put the values and you'll get the answer, I guess. Okay, this value is already given. What is this? B1 means chosen is a boy, and it's he got first class. So 0.25 is the probability in the question given. And B2 is a girl, and she has got first class. That means the probability is 0.28. What about the B1 probability? Probability of B1, that is only choosing a boy. Anyone can tell me? See the first line. Ah, exactly. So if let's say total number was X, but here we don't need X actually, right? So it is already given 2 by 3rd of the students in a class are boys. So we can directly say the probability of B1 will be 2 by 3 only. And what about the probability of girl then? It will be 1 by 3, because 1 minus 2 by 3, no? 1 by 3 only. So the choosing the boys from a class will be 2 by 3. Choosing the girl from the class will be 1 minus 2 by 3. That is 1 by 3. Just calculate that and you will get the answer 0.26. That is the answer, C option. Clear? Now let's go to the next question. Similarly, based on this topic only, one more question is there. 0.26 is the answer. See the next question. They are saying that this time an urn contains 5 red and 2 green balls. So let me tell you that how will you identify that whether this event, whether this question is from uh, this theorem, total probability theorem, or no? Okay, so there will be one event will be happening. Okay, and in that event two further event will be categorized, in which either one will happen, two will stay like this, and two second will happen, first will remain like this. In this question the same thing is happening. See, an urn contains 5 red balls and 2 green balls. Okay, just understand the question first. A ball is drawn at random from the urn. If the drawn ball is green, so this is our what? Okay, ball is green, then a red ball is added. See carefully. If the ball has been drawn green, the red will be added, means the same color ball is not added here. Okay, similarly, and if the ball drawn is red, then a green ball is added. Can you see the interchanging things here? The original ball is not returned to the run. Okay, it is already saying now a second ball is drawn at random from the probability that second ball is red. Now you go with any method and try to solve. You tell me whether you will get or no, or rather I say ki go for this total probability theorem, and in one go, in one shot, you will get the answer. How? First we should define the events. What are the events? Can we say that the final event of our is second ball. Second ball drawn is red. So can we say that this is our, we can say, event A, because final event we need only this second ball to be red. Okay, so this total A, or we can say event A, will be written as drawn is red. What about the other two events? Okay, because of course we need that, it is already given here, it might be three events also. Okay, it might be given three events also. So they have given two color of balls only, but suppose that if they are giving you one color ball also, let's say one white is also there, in that case you have to use that third one also. Okay, but that's good because that will become a little bit complex. So if the drawn ball is green, then a red ball is added. So can we say, let's say b1 we can write like this, ki first ball drawn, because first ball is drawn as green, so we can say first ball drawn is green. Two possibilities are there na for the first ball, either it can be a green ball or either it can be a red ball. First ball drawn is red, but we need that second ball is to be red. Okay, so we will be writing that probability, or we can say the event A will be written as A intersection b1 plus A intersection b2. Again we are using the same, that is total probability theorem. The probability of A will become probability of A intersection b1 plus probability of A intersection b2. But first, of course, in the formula, by the formula it will become what? Probability of b1 into probability of A by b1 plus similarly probability of b2 into probability of A by b2. Right, now our task is that to find out these different probabilities. So first we will find out, okay, let's say this equation is a 1 and we will have to put the values, all the values. So now just tell me what is the probability of b1, means getting a green ball, total ball is, huh, 2 by 7 exactly. So 2 by 7 is the total ball are 7 and two green balls are there. Similarly, what is the probability of b2? 5 by 7, simple. Okay, but now what is the probability of A when probability of, or we can say when the b1 has already happened, means the first ball is already green. Okay, just understand this carefully. The first ball drawn is green. Now they are asking what is the probability of second ball drawn is red. Tell me. This is the important. See the statement. If the green ball has first drawn, the red ball will be added. Na? So how many red ball will become? 6. Total 6 red ball will become. Initially they were 5, but they have already drawn the green. So green, so already I guess, what is this? Mm, green ball is drawn. Na? So P B1, PA by B1. Just a second. 6 by, sorry, 6 by 7 answer, sorry, my mistake. Probability of A by B1, B1 is green, yeah. So 6 by 7 will be the probability of this. Okay, because second ball is to be red now, first ball is already green, so 6 by 7. But when we find out the probability of A slash B2, means the first ball drawn is already red, now the probability of second ball is to be red again. But just see that if the first ball drawn is red, then they are putting a green ball in the bag. So how many green ball will become? Three green ball will become, but at the same time one red has gone. So 4 plus 3, total will remain same. But this will change. This will become 4. Is it clear? Okay, now put the values and get the answer. Just put the values, all these values be put in this equation, and this answer will be 32 by 49. That is understood, right? That is understood because drawing a ball from a bag which is red or green, they are independent, they are exclusive events. Okay, but holistically they are exhaustive also, है ना? So if you add, see, if you add these two probability, this 2 by 7, 5 by 7, you will be getting one, na? Sample space you are getting. Okay, so it is understood here that because, huh, okay, let's go to the next part, Bayes theorem, inverse probability theorem. Okay, so Bayes theorem is also related to this complete probability, or we can say the total probability theorem only. Same kind of events are there, you can see. Okay, if event A can occur with one of the n mutually exclusive and exhaustive events, then A by B1, A by B2, or A by Bn, they all will be written as what? Probability of Bi into probability of A by Bi upon probability of sigma of, we can say, probability of Bi into probability of A by Bi. What is this? Okay, what is this? This is the same thing that we discussed just now. Yes or no? Total probability theorem. Okay, and this is also the same thing. So if you go for a proof, if you want the proof of it, you can simply say that A with B1, A with B2, because total probability theorem says that you can write event A as A intersection B1, provided that A and B1 are mutually exclusive and exhaustive. Okay, so if n number of events are there, you can write like that. Similarly, probability you can write like that, and total probability theorem, sorry, PA can be written as then in this case like this in the index form, or we can say the compact form. Then by the conditional probability, you can write probability of A intersection Bi as PA into PBi by A, or PBi into PA by Bi. Alright. So in that case, if we replace the value of PB1 by A, or B2 by A, or Bi by A, this will become probability of A intersection B1 upon PA, or this can further be written as probability of B1 into probability of A by B1 upon probability of A. And probability of A, you just know that we can write like this. We can write like this. So same thing is written here. You can see A intersection B1, A intersection B2, and so on. Then all the intersection part has been converted by the conditional probability in this format. So this theorem says that if two events are, or we can say A and B events are, let's say, mutually exclusive and exhaustive events, of course this theorem will be used only when the events are more than 2 or 2. All right, more than 2 or 2. Then you can say कि probability of B with given A can be written in this format. This is what we call the inverse of Bayes theorem, which is very important in the from the board perspective, or whatever the JEE mains you are giving, right? So one question you can expect from this chapter in the board, though it is definitely sure. Okay, means you can say 90% and 95% are chances there that you will get the question from this, and that too of 4 marks or 6 marks according to your criteria what you are having in your respective boards. So let's go for a question from this topic. Okay, so that this will be cleared more. The next question is a pack of cards is counted with face downwards. Okay, so the deck of cards is there, we cannot see the face whatever is there. It is found that one card is missing, so total card are 51. Okay, one card is missing means total cards are 51. The total cards are 51 only. One card is drawn and is found to be red. Okay, the probability that the missing card is also a red. Can you see the three events? First event is the drawn card is red. Okay, drawn card is red. Second event, missing card is red. Third event, missing card can be black also, na? So we can say कि missing card is red. Missing card is red. And second thing is that missing card can is not red. Okay, But these are what our B1 B2 events, because the total event is what, the card drawn is red, because lastly they are asking na. So A is card drawn is red. So then now we can we write like this ki, if card drawn is red, so we are asking for the probability of A. If we are asking for the probability of A, that can be written as probability of A intersection B1, means the common part between the missing card is red and the card drawn is red, plus same thing with B2. And by the formula we just studied, by the formula we just studied that probability of B1 slash A means, what is the meaning of this, that drawn card is already red, drawn card is already red. Now you have to find the probability that whether the missing card is red or no. Similarly, okay, this is the requirement. Option B is correct. Good. All right. So B1 upon A means A is already happened. The card is already drawn and that is red. But we don't know that whether it is a missing card or whether it is a, or missing card is not red. Basically we have to find out the missing card is red. So B1 is a missing card event. So we will write like this. Probability of B1 slash A is equal to, by the Bayes theorem, inverse Bayes theorem, we can write probability of B1 into probability of A by B1 upon probability of B1 into probability of A by B1 plus probability of B2 into probability of A by B2. Okay. What is the probability of B1? Means getting a card which is, sorry, getting the missing card as, getting the missing card as uh, red, getting the missing card to be red. Now let me tell you, can you see that these two are the different events actually? Missing card is red, missing card is red and missing card is not red. Isn't that key, there are 50-50 possibilities are there, right? Right, so that means we can say the probability of B1 is 1 by 2, and similarly with the probability of B2, right? So we got these two values, PB1 and PB2. What about the PA by B1? Here I'm writing here. Of course, of course. Okay, so probability of A by B1 means B1 already happened, means missing card is already red. Now the drawn card is also red. What is the probability for that? Missing card is red and drawn card is red. How many total cards are there? 26 red cards I'm asking. Okay. Now if suppose that if it is already missing card, it is already given ki missing card is red, so means 25 only left. So what is the probability of 25 cards out of, or we can say 25 red cards out of, or we can say probability of red cards actually out of 51 cards, so 25 by 51 only. Similarly, if you ask, if you write this probability of A by B2, that missing card is not red. If missing card is not red, it means whatever the 26 cards reds were there, they are intact. Okay, that means the black card is missing actually. Okay, so 26 by 51. Just put all the values here and get your answers. So the answer will be 25 by 51. Okay, is that clear? So this is how we are going to use this Bayes theorem. Now let's understand one more question, and then one question I'll give you the homework. Already it is 105, 104. Yes. Hmm. Of course, of course. No, that will be, that means you are saying in this equation you are saying we can directly put, ha, in this equation you can put directly when they are equally likely, when this b1 and b2 are equally likely events. Okay, and in the most cases you will be getting, I guess, equally likely only, but if you are not getting, then definitely this will become, the calculation part is wrong then. Got the answer? Okay. Okay, so this is the answer, B option. And this question I am giving you the homework. Okay, let's get, take this home, take this question as a homework, and then last question we are going to discuss. Last question is, so the answer, take the answer for this also, this C option is the correct, and the last question is this one. Okay, once you get used to this method, then there are not very difficult question from this topic. Okay, there are easy questions from this topic. You can easily identify whether the Bayes theorem will be applicable or no. So here you can see box 1 contains 30 cards. Okay, so there is a box 1, 30 cards, 1 to 30. Then box 2, 20 cards, 31 to 50. Then it is saying a box is selected random. Just now tell me, if two boxes are there, what is the probability of selecting either box 1 or either box 2? Yes. So here again they are equally likely. So we can directly say that probability of choosing any box is 1 by 2, and here this B2 is also 1 by 2. So they are equally likely events. Then it is saying that a box is selected at random and a card is drawn from it. Okay, this is the next thing. The number on the card is found to be non-prime number. Non-prime number. Okay, what are the prime numbers first of all, or what are the non-prime numbers? So if it is asking non-prime number, then other possibility is that it can get a prime number also. So we got the two events. We got our two events. What are the two events? So B1 we can say that getting a prime number. Okay, and that can be nothing but write the events from all 2 to 30. Sorry, so it is already given, keep from the box 1 only we have to find out, right? The probability that the card was drawn from the box 1 and the card drawn to be found be non-prime number. So non-prime number, and we want that should be from the box 1. So B2, from the B2 if you find out the prime number, or from the B1 you find out the prime number. So from B2, sorry, from B1, 1 to 30, how many prime numbers will be getting? 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17 and 19, and then 23 and 29. Only these numbers you will be getting. Similarly from 31 to 50, 31 is the first one, and then 37, then 41, 43 and 47. That's it. So these are the prime numbers we are getting in this B1 and B2 box, and B1 and box B2. But what is the actual event that is asking? That a card has been drawn, which is a non-prime number. Card is non-prime number. So just quickly calculate that and you'll get the answer. So now they are asking actually probability of what? Probability of B1 by A, because box 1 they are already saying that the number on the card is found to be non-prime number. Found to be means this event has already happened. If this has happened, means this should come in the denominator part. Okay, so P B1 by A, P B1 by A formula is P B1 into P A by B1 upon, rest you already know, right? This will be repeated again one more time, and then plus this is one, sorry, probability of B2 into probability of A by B2. But next thing is that what is the probability of A by B1? Okay, so see carefully. Probability of A by B1 means what? That B1 event has already happened, means the prime number has already came from the box 1. Now we have to say that whether it is a non-prime or not. Okay, B1 is means what? Sorry, B1 means All right, one second. B1 means the box 1 has selected. Sorry, my mistake. B1 means box 1 has selected. Okay, I think we have did the mistake. Small part here. Actually, we should write B1 as box 1 is selected, B2 as box 2 is selected. Okay, and in those boxes we can get these prime numbers. So B1 is box 1 selected and B2 is box 2 selected. Alright, now it is fine. So box 1 is selected and the probability that the card drawn is a non-prime. So what should be the answer for this? Yes, anyone? Probability of the 20 by 30, correct. And what about the probability of A by B2? 15 by 20. And PB1 and PB2 we already found out. Put all the values in this expression and you will get the answer as 8 by 17. Is it coming? Correct. So first option is correct. No, we are using, no? We will use them. Huh, we will use them here, no? See, these B1 by 2 we will be using here, no? And this 1 by 2 also will be taking here. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Choosing box. That's why I written here. Ki B1 is basically the selection of box 1. Here I have written here again. Okay. The B1 is box 1 selection. B2 is box 2 selection. However, if so here the prime numbers I have written because we can see actually we can see ki in box 1 how many prime numbers are there. In box 2 how many prime numbers are there. That we have written here. Okay. Only just to see. That is not the event. All right. Okay. So that's it for today. So this was your answer and I hope all you enjoyed it. Then we can meet in the next class. Now if you have any doubt you can ask.